Now he gets head stomped. Now here's where Sean Barnett's going to go for that leg lock. It looks like he's looking for an Achilles lock almost. At no point do I see him switch that to a heel hook. This is an Achilles lock. It puts pressure on the Achilles tendon of your opponent. You can hear his corner screaming heel hook, but he does not switch to a heel hook. And at this point, Reha is almost stacking him up, but Barnett using the strength in his legs to push him back down. But really, there's nothing here. That Achilles lock isn't working, and you see some heavy heel kicks to the head and shoulder area of Sean Barnett. You won't see those in the US as you cannot kick a downed opponent, but in the TFC, that is perfectly legal. And you can hear his corner again, switch to the heel hook, switch to the heel hook. He does not. He's continuing. Now a small attempt there at a heel hook, but those left hands coming down hard from Reha of LPF. Now he switches to the heel hook. It's almost an inverted heel hook. Could have maybe even went for a knee bar there, and more kicks to the head of Sean Barnett. Reha just dropping those heel hooks in the ribs, in the head. I'm sorry, those heel strikes. At this point, he's bringing Barnett closer to him. He's got an arm, attempting to take the pressure off of that leg. And this really is the best that a Team USA fighter did in this first fight of event number 2, as you'll see a little bit later on. But Barnett holding his own in the grappling department. He appears to be a good grappler. His discipline is MMA. And then here comes the teammate of Reha, dropping some heavy leather hammer fists to the back area of Sean Barnett, to the ribs. Now it's a 2-on-1 situation, so even if he was to get the heel hook, he's going to be in trouble here. Now he's got side control, does the teammate of Reha. And with that side control, now Reha's going to measure him, and he's going to just kick those ribs. Left kicks to the ribs and under the arm area there. Now you can see Sean Barnett visually trying to block those kicks, and while he does that, he's getting struck by the teammate, and there's the soccer kick to the head. Quick left-right combination, and you can hear him actually wincing in pain. He's in trouble at this point. And they're going to wave it off. Actually, Sean Barnett's going to wave it off. Now he'll be eliminated.
The second most technical fighter on the Latvian team fought the most technical fighter on the American team. The American tries very hard to do leg locks, different types of leg locks that even Paris has showed me some of them. And he just fails because there's strikes and kicks on the ground, which are in the rules in that fight league.
The thing is with leg locks is they're awesome and I love them, but when somebody is expecting the unexpected and they're going to attack you with hands, feet, whatever, leg locks, unless you torque them real quick and break something fast, there's a good chance you're going to get punched or kicked in the face. This is the whole reason why they brought back combat grappling, combat submission grappling is a great idea. You know, they call it slap jits in the circles.
Slap jitsu.
It's very important to be able to deal with someone attacking you while trying to do grapples. Now, when you're in a high intensity arena like an MMA fight, I mean, even slap jitsu, you're not allowed to stomp kick them or do things like that. But when you get into something like we're watching right now, all bets are off. Like, there's a good chance what's going to happen to this gentleman will happen to somebody who tries to apply leg locks on somebody who's trained. However, if you're in a street conflict, usually they don't know what they're doing, and you can get that leg lock off pretty quick as long as you crank it and break something. That leads us to another problem, which is how much do you want to inflict damage on the person? Because I don't know about you, but around where we live, people are so happy. Like, you destroy someone's knee and good chance to go to jail. Least case scenario, you're going to go bankrupt paying for medical bills. So things to consider.
There's so many X factors when there's punches. Like even just like I can just punch.
I would never. There was no way I'd be here with somebody. You know what I mean? When I could just back off, and at least here protect and start. You know what I mean? But yeah, the second I go in here, if you want to punch me in the face, boom, you definitely can. Now, if I'm here, I can maybe do this, but then this leg comes up, because how am I controlling it? Then you're hitting, you're stomping here, boom. Here. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of things, there's a lot of things I have to control. As opposed to, for some reason I get here, forearm, stomp kick, you know what I mean?
So
and then
controlling one of my legs while you're hitting me.
So I'm going boom. Like, I could just do this like all day. Now you put up a hand or whatever to block like this, fine, boom, you know what I mean? But look at all of the attacks. Like, I can play the same game, But you know, I'm trying to be a jiu-jitsu guy, and meanwhile, you're like boom, and you're doing this. You can stomp me in the face. And
this guy was in jiu-jitsu mode, but he should have. The moment he had any kind of dominant position, he should have did what Paris did. Just like, okay, I control your leg, boom, boom, boom.
I'll tell you what, I'll share one of my trump cards with the audience right now. Anytime I run into somebody who says, yeah, let's just do ground and pound with grappling, I'm like, that's fine. If I'm in, so usually I'll start in guard, he's in my guard. I'll let him do whatever, I'll protect and hold him down, and this whole thing, right?
Okay.
But, I mean, two can play this game. All I have to do is when he's like this, boom, this, bop, you know what I mean? I'm going, well, boom.
Right.
I don't have to do a spider and catch here. I can break my guard and stomp him in the face, bring it down, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, there's a million things that I can do.
Yeah.
But as a jiu-jitsu person, it's very good to deal with someone. Go ahead, give me some slaps or whatever. You know, keeping the hand up, catch it, do this whole thing. But I mean, that's not the real game. The real game is the second he goes here, boom, forearm, palm strike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that some jiu-jitsu people don't like to do that because it doesn't look very jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That's the reality. We saw what happened when someone tries to stick to the jiu-jitsu game. But
it's so interesting that he like threw no strikes.
Not at all.
Yeah, he was just complete. He was like, I gotta win by jiu-jitsu.
There was a UFC fighter who came in, I will just submit only, and then he got lit up a few times. Like, never mind that.
Thing is, the American fighter was smaller. It's like if I took him on. So I'm taking him on, he is striking, and I'm gonna only use grappling. Like, why?
That's like fighting with one hand and one leg behind your back, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and don't get it twisted. I mean, I'm a big jiu-jitsu enthusiast. I think it's great training. It's a great workout. It's great to be able to wrestle with someone and submit them when somebody wants to wrestle, things like that. But the second somebody who's competent knows how to throw punches, kicks, and elbows, you can't just rely on one thing unless you're just that much better than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. And the guy was a pancration fighter, so the guy knew every tool that the jiu-jitsu guy had.
The coach I've been with the longest, I said, well, what would you do in an MMA fight? He says, I wouldn't do submissions. I would just get in position and pound the hell out of them. And we saw here what is more effective.
This is what I love about these videos, because at first I thought we were going to break the techniques down, but then I realized there's actually an overarching better lesson, which is don't try to do these techniques when you're in a real scrap.
Right. I mean, unless you're that much better, you know what I mean? But
unless like the person is untrained and you are like black belt level, then yes, mess them up with jiu-jitsu only.
And I mean, as far as bouncing and things like that, I would definitely choose to do submissions over strikes because I don't want to put my knuckles into their teeth by accident, things like that. I don't want to leave too much evidence when trying to get them out of an establishment. I will definitely use jiu-jitsu and also do standing, grappling, and wrestling. However, that is not an MMA fight.
Yeah.
That is me dealing with somebody who's drunk and doesn't know what they're doing and trying to get them off the property, you know, because the skill levels are very different, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the environment's fine. Be aware that like most combat sports in real life, you're probably going to use anywhere from 5 to 20% of what you learn. You're not going to use that 80 to 90%. You know what I mean? That stuff is for that sport only. That applies to boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, you know what I mean? You've got a few good things that you can go to. But I mean, you know, like for example, pulling lasso guard or spider guard on the street is not recommended and not something that I would ever do. So, and there's nothing wrong with having a deep volume of techniques and just using 5 or 10%. You know, it just means your well is very deep in case something goes awry, you have something else to go to.
Yeah, exactly. So, great reflection. Jerry and Coach Paris, fight commentary breakdowns, out.
Did I talk too much?
No, that's perfect.
You sure?
Yeah.